Hello people, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to cook chicken biryani served with rice. Karibuni. We're going to start cooking the rice. As you can see, this is how we cook our rice nowadays. We first put some salt and oil in the cooking pot. Then we add our already washed rice. As you can see, at this point, in our home we use biryani rice, the sun rice. I find it a bit long na ishikani, so I love it. So that's how we do it. We wash our rice, then we put it in the pot with some oil and salt, as you can see. Then we stir a bit. Then we add our already measured water. We'd already measured the water, as you can see. Looks a lot, but it's the perfect amount of water. So now we are going to, you remember we had already added oil in our pot with salt, so we are not going to add that again. So we are now just going to stir a little bit. Then we cover the pot. That's it. We just cover and we start preparing the ingredients for the biryani. So we are now going to cut some onions. These onions are going to be used to, they're going to be sprinkled in the biryani after the chicken and everything is cooked. You just sprinkle the onions. I think that is optional. You just sprinkle the onions in the already cooked biryani. That brings another different and very sweet taste. So you are going to cut a lot of onions, as you can see. Prepare them. We also not, these are not the only onions we are going to use. We are still going to use onions to cook our stew, like stir our chicken and everything. So these ones are only going to be used for the sprinkling in the biryani. So we are preparing the onions, as you can see. We are done preparing our onions, and there are a lot, but that is the perfect amount. After that, we had already peeled our potatoes. So now we are going to slice our potatoes. So in this, we are going to use onions, potatoes. We are going to use mala. We are going to use some spices I'm going to introduce thereafter. I think potatoes are optional. So if you don't like potatoes, you don't need to add. We're also going to add some Royco cubes. We also going to need some food color. As you can see, this food color, this is egg yellow. So we are going to stir kidogo with some water. Then we add it in our potatoes for color, just for color. A little bit of color in the potatoes. That one is optional. So if you don't love food color or you don't love color, that's optional. For me, I decided to add some color in the potatoes. I'm also going to show you where else we are going to use color. So we are stirring the food color to dissolve in the water, as you can see. Then we add in our potatoes. It's going to give a very good golden color. Is it golden? Egg yellow. Yes, egg yellow. As you can see, we are going to mix thoroughly until all the potatoes are covered with the color. And then we're going to put the potatoes aside. You can see they are well covered by the food color. So now we're going to put aside and we start preparing our chicken. Today we are going to use a full chicken. This is a broiler chicken. It's not a kienyeji chicken. I think this one is a bit easier to cook biryani compared to the kienyeji chicken, but also you can just use the chicken you wish, either kienyeji or the the broiler, which is just for now. For today, we are going to use the broiler chicken. We are done preparing, we are done cutting into pieces. After we cut into pieces, now we are going to, this is where we are going to need the other color. This is a different color. This is golden yellow. The other one was egg yellow. This is golden yellow. So I'm going to show you where we are going to put the color. So we are going to stir the color. Then you remember our boiling rice, it's already dry. So we are going to just put some color in the rice. If you have different colors, you can even put blue, you can add green, you can add orange, you can add purple, whichever color you have. For us, we just add two colors which are almost similar to each other, yellow and somehow orange. So that is what we are going to use for today. You don't need that color, but for just the beauty of the rice, as you can see, they're almost the same. You can't tell. As you look at the pot, you can just tell a very small difference. So our rice will just give our rice some time to dry. In the meantime, we are going to prepare our onions. The very onions I told you we are going to sprinkle in the biryani. So now we are going to heat our oil. We heat it. Then after it's a bit hot, we're now going to add our onions and we fry them. You need a lot of oil. For me, I used kidogo oil, but you need a lot of oil. Our rice is doing well, as you can see. It's drying. The colors are visible, as you can see. And don't overcook the rice. If you do overcook, haitakaa vizuri. So now our oil is a bit hot. So now we are going to add our onions. As you can see, we add our onions, all of them. As I said, we are going to deep fry, not like shallow frying. Deep frying, the onions should be covered with oil. For me, I use a little bit of oil, but I would advise you use a lot of oil so that the onions do not burn. Also, make sure you don't burn your onions. If they burn, they'll be bitter in your biryani. So we've added some little salt. As you can see, that is salt. We've added little to give some taste to the onions. And then if you want your onions to cook faster, that is one kitchen hack. You add some little salt and it's going to cook very fast. It cooks very fast with some salt. So try that. Let me know if you tried and how it went. So at this point, our onions are cooking, as you can see, but they are bubbling kidogo kidogo. We are going to use another small kitunguu, not a lot, because we're also going to add some more onions. So we are going to cut another onion, put in a different sufuria. As you can see, we're going to scoop the oil which we are using to cook the other onions. We use the same oil. You can use the same oil or you can just put different oil. For me, I'm going to use the same oil because you can recycle that oil anyway. So our oils are doing well. As our onions, sorry, are coming up nicely. As you can see, we're going to add some little oil. Going to add some little oil. Don't need too much oil. As you can see, just little oil. As you can see, add kidogo again until you just put oil which is enough for cooking your onions, because you're going to use the same oil to fry our chicken. As I said, we are cooking chicken biryani. Don't forget. Mm. So now we are going to put our fire on. So we put our fire on, as you can see. That is the mala we are going to use. I find this a bit smooth. You can use any mala of your choice. We are also going to use roiko. We are going to use the spices for the day. We are going to use beef cubes, paprika, garam masala, and some onion powder. Make sure as you are cooking your biryani, usikose garam masala. Please make sure you have garam masala. It brings that good taste. Our rice is done, as you can see. It's well dry. Our onions are also doing well, as you can see. So now we are cooking the onions, and at the same time we are cooking our chicken. So I think you're going to exchange the pots. The fire is a little bit kidogo. So we are going to exchange the onions and the chicken pot. We exchange them. At least ndio ive haraka. I find this gas, it cooks so slowly, but we just move on regardless. I even prefer cooking with the meko, not even this. So now we are going to add some garlic and ginger to our already cooking onions. We're also going to need some tomatoes and carrots. We are going to grate the carrots. Potatoes, we are just going to slice them. If you have a grinder or a blender, you can blend. For me today, I'm not going to blend them, but if blended, they'll be so nice because they're going to cook smoothly. If you don't have a blender, you can even grate them. If you don't have a grater, you can just cut them into small pieces and cook them just like that. I said in this kitchen, we don't complicate cooking. You don't need to have all those machinery for you to cook. Just need the simple things. It's everything, you just find it in your kitchen. You can cook with the simplest ingredients, as I said. So now we are going to give our garlic and ginger some few minutes to cook. As you can see, our onions are now translucent. They are still not cooked, but the other onions for the chicken are done, as you can see. So now we are going to add our chicken to the already cooked garlic, ginger, and onions. So we are going to cook for some few minutes. You know, this kind of chicken, the broiler, doesn't take a lot of time to cook. Just need little time. Kidogo tu, you don't overcook it. If you overcook it, itatokana. So now we are going to start time. We are going to change our pots. We give priority to the pot with the chicken. You can now see very well. You can see the chicken. You can see the onions are doing well. So now we are going to give a little stir to the chicken, cover it, and give it some few minutes to cook. As I said, this one is not haikuangi ngumu. Just need to cook kidogo. No need to cook it for a long time. So now we are going to stir. Remember to add some salt. If you added some salt in your onions, don't add more. Remember, we added salt in our already frying onions, so don't put a lot of oil, a lot of salt. Also, remember you are going to use beef cubes and royco, the powder one. So if you add a lot of salt, the food might be so salty. So as you're putting your salt, put into consideration that your onions are salty already. So we are going to cover our chicken, give it some few minutes, as I said, to cook as we prepare the other ingredients. So you can see our chicken, our onions are dry, already doing so well. Make sure you don't overcook your onions, because as I said, if you overcook them, if they burn, your biryani will be so bitter. So at this point, our onions were done. So we are now going to transfer them from the pot to our plate. They almost burnt, but they are okay. As you can see, they are so crunchy. This oil, we are also going to sorry, we're also going to reuse this oil. As we said, nothing goes to waste in this kitchen. We use everything mpaka mwisho. There's no wastage. Don't go wasting things in the kitchen. Yes, so we are going to reuse that oil because we just cooked onions with it. So you don't need to throw it. You can even use the oil to cook your stews. You can use it to fry your veggies because we just cooked onions with it, so si mbaya. So we are done with the onions. On the side we are doing tomatoes. We are cutting our tomatoes, as you can see, but we have to salvage the onions before they before they burn. Yes, you can see we are done. On the side, our chicken is cooking. Make sure you don't overcook it. Just cook kidogo, because remember it's also going to cook as we cook the potatoes. Yeah. So now, as I said, everything in this kitchen is useful. So your mafuta, we are going to reuse it. We are going to shallow fry our potatoes, our already colored potatoes. As you can see, they look so nice. So we're just going to fry for a few minutes. We're not like going to cook them until they're ready. We're just going to shallow fry them so that when we add into our stew, they don't break. At this point, our chicken is doing well, so let's check. Make sure when you're opening your pots, especially these ones without the lid, the lid does not have the holder. You be very careful. See, chomeke na the steam. The steam is always very hot. So at this point, our chicken is almost cooking, because you can see iko na damu. At some point, you can see some red pearls. So you're going to give it some few minutes so that it can cook as we continue cooking our potatoes. As you can see, they are a bit crunchy. You can see bit crunchy, not well done, but bit crunchy. So at this point, we already grated our carrots and we cut our onion, our tomatoes, as you can see. But the carrots we cut a lot, which is okay. So now we are going to add our potatoes to the already cooking chicken. As you can see, they are bringing a very nice color to the stew. A very nice color, as you can see, very nice. But as I said, the color is optional. You don't need to add color if you don't like color. Very nice color. We are going to add all the potatoes, and then now we put off our fire. Now we have nothing else to add. After that, we are going to add our carrots and tomatoes. As you can see, we're going to stir a little bit, then we cover and let it cook. At this point, we've stirred our mix. As you can see, add some little oil. Then I forgot to record. We At this point we had already added our mala. As you can see, it's already creamy. So we had already added our mala at this point. As you can see, that is the consistency we need. So that is Royco. We added some Royco to give it a bit of taste. As you can see, it's very creamy. The potatoes have not broken, so that's why we first fried them. So now we're going to, you see the consistency. It's very nice, very nice. At this point we are just going to cover the pot, give it some few minutes as we prepare our other ingredients. You see the way we have a big avocado, so now we are going to prepare that avocado. Watu wa Kisii, please plug me with your plugs for avocados from Kisii. This one is from Kisii and it was very yummy. This one was yummy, I cannot even lie to you. So nice. The perfect avocado, the one you buy in the market and then you're like, God, this is the day you've made. So I was so happy. Can you imagine cutting a big avocado like this and you find it like perfect? It has a very small dent, which I didn't mind. As you can see, a very small wound, which I cannot even complain about. Just look at that avocado. Just look. Eh? Now at this point, our biryani is done. As you can see, everything is creamy. You can see on any. You people, you should try this recipe. Kindly go and try this recipe and let me know how it goes. You can see our rice was well done. We forgot to record as we were putting our onions. Those are the onions and the biryani just sprinkled, and it was so yummy. Go and try this recipe. Let me all know how it goes in the comment section. Please remember to subscribe, and let's meet in the other video. It's a bye for now.